Hello, social workers. You are probably familiar with the hustle and bustle that comes with the job. I did it for over 10 years, but I am social worker turned entrepreneur. And today we're going to talk about issues that get swept under the rug. Social workers who neglect themselves. It happens all the time. It's a serious issue. And let's talk about 5 reasons why this happens. Now, we know as social workers, we are great at caring for others. We love to advocate for others, but often we can leave ourselves in the dust, right? When it comes to our own well-being, we put ourselves last. Now, as a coach for social workers for the past 10 years, I hear countless stories, experiences, and inner thoughts of social workers across the country and across the world. And this self-neglect is a recurring theme. So, why do we neglect ourselves? And more importantly, what can we do about it? I'm going to give you 5 reasons why this happens. But just before I do that, I want to make sure that you are going to subscribe to this channel. It's a brand new channel. I'm here. I'm going to be here more consistently. So I would like you to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with your other social workers because we are about to get lit on this channel, and we're going to help you move to a place of confidence and move to a place where you can think, yeah, I am a damn good social worker. So let's get started with number one. And it's simple. You are just too busy to pause. You don't know how to stop. Now, I know that because I've done it myself. I've literally had to write a list of all the things that I know that make me happy and make me relax, and literally pick something off the list. I got to that point. I became a martyr to the social work profession. Whilst I enjoyed it, whilst I got lots of reward from it, that's what happened to me. And now being on the other side, being a coach and mentor for social workers, I am noticing the exact same pattern right across the board. And when they finish a coaching session, more often than not, I get the words, oh, it just feels good to stop and reflect. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Right? Even though we know in social work, reflecting is the cornerstone of what we do, but being able to stop and reflect, that offers you something different because the coaching space is just for you. Let's be honest, social workers, we're running on empty way more than we realize, and we just keep going and going and going. But our bodies are telling us a different story. And you have to think about, do we have tension in our shoulders? Do you have constant headaches? All of these things are signs that your body is trying to get your attention. Do not ignore them. So here's some tips. 1, take 5 minutes each day to see how your body is feeling. Now, I recommend, and this is not a paid partnership or sponsorship, I highly recommend using the Balance app. You get 1 year completely free. 1 year completely free, and you can tap into any type of meditation that's going to help you just stop and reflect. And of course, you've got me. I am a coach. You can contact me. The information is in the show notes. Right. I want to move on to number 2. Number 2 is we feel guilty for taking time off. Who's guilty for that? I'm definitely guilty of that. You feel guilty for not being at work. You feel guilty. You feel a rest. You feel guilty for taking a rest. When does it stop? Rest is not a luxury. It's a necessity, right? And as social workers, we are wired. We are wired to the hilt simply to help others. But when was the last time you gave you permission to rest? The key word here is permission. The amount of social workers that I speak to that do not give themselves permission to rest, I'd certainly be a millionaire by now. I've worked with so many people, and including myself, I felt guilty for taking a break. And I know it's hard to sometimes. I know you have to ride or die for your families. But what you is schedule downtime in advance. So if you listen to my podcast, it's called Dear Social Worker, Let's Talk, available on all platforms. If you listen to that podcast, I will tell you at the beginning of every year, book your days off in advance. It doesn't mean you have to have somewhere to go. It doesn't mean you have to know exactly what you're going to do. It's simply going to serve as a visual reminder as you look from January to December when you need to take a break. It is an absolute godsend. Even if it's one day, even if it's an extra day at the bank holiday, even if it's 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever it looks like for you, do that in advance. Now, I know as a coach that likely there is a backstory behind why you may be struggling to give yourself permission to truly take that break. And if you're thinking about accessing mentoring or coaching, I would work with you personally on a one-to-one basis for you to gain that deeper understanding of self so we can work through it. Let's move to point 3. Sometimes we simply don't recognize the warning signs of stress, or we ignore it. I was definitely someone who ignored it. I've got to get this done. I've got to get the minutes on the system. I've got to go and see this family. I've got to intervene. This is now crisis intervention. But ignoring your body's signals is like driving a car with an engine light on. Eventually, it's going to break down. Now, many social workers I work with, they suffer from fatigue, exhaustion, anxiety, tension. Yes, we know it is part of the job. We know we are exposed to trauma. We know we're going to experience those moments where you're like, tearing your hair out. But your body's responses to that, they are the red flags that you should also be listening to. I've been burnt out. I've been there more than once, and I've had to pick myself up without support. Look, you've got coaches, you've got mentors, you've got assistance programs. All of these can help you with your mental health and help you maintain work-life boundaries. We don't talk about balance here. We talk about work-life boundaries. So, can do with that. 1, download my free downloadable. It is called 50 Ways to Digital Detox, right? And that is going to encourage you to promote your self well-being and put you first when you can and where you can. Yes, we know you have to buckle down sometimes, but within the moments where it's very stressful and very busy, you still have to create those boundaries. So using the link on the screen, go to that page, scroll to the bottom, you will find the link for resources. Click the link for resources and you can download all the resources on the page. While I'm here, I'm just going to remind you to like and comment to this particular post and this particular video and this site, because we're going to be here more often. I've got lots of content to upload. I've been slacking, but I'm here. The next resource that you can download is going to be from Amazon. If you go to amazon.com, you can download a book called The Mood Tracker Journal. Now, this is in the link in the show notes for this video. It's also on my website, socialworkcoachinghub.com. Written this book to help you track your patterns of emotions, track your mental health, how you're feeling, and look back and look at all these things that are activating some of these strong emotions, and for you to find solutions for them, all in the journal. You can pinpoint these patterns with precision. The other thing you can do when you go to my website is click for Dear Social Worker Podcast. You can listen to all the episodes there, which are linked to managing stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. Let's move forward with number 4. Number 4 is we forget to advocate for ourselves. Aren't we just useless? Useless at advocating for ourselves. We spend all this time advocating for others, putting others first, helping others, waking up with other people on our minds. But advocating for ourselves, somehow our mind doesn't compute as a social worker to do that for us in the way that we need and in a way that serves us, right? You are meant to pour from the overflow of your cup, not the contents of the cup. People get that mixed up. Your cup is just supposed to be full. The cup that's full needs to be full for you. Then when the cup is overflowing, you're pouring from, you're giving from, you're loving from, you're helping from the overflow of that cup. So what you can do here is set boundaries. not balance, work-life boundaries. Saying no is going to be your best friend this year. And some of you might be going, no, I don't want to say no. I'm used to saying yes. That's what I want to do. 2025, it's a new year. Saying yes to everything and saying yes to things that you don't mean is not going to serve you wholeheartedly. And ultimately, you won't be able to serve the children and families, the adults, the vulnerable communities that you are serving. It is essential that you begin to understand that protecting your time and mental health is key. You can only do that with boundaries. Sometimes you need someone to help you make that happen. That someone might be me, it might be someone else. A mentor, your manager, advisor, your employment, assistance services, anyone that's going to help you put these boundaries in. And I would, if you were one of my clients, I would want to understand why you're struggling to put those boundaries in. But we'll move on. I'm just going to say here, do not let 2025 pass you by without getting what you need to thrive as a social worker and to feel more in control of your work-life boundaries. Okay, last but certainly not least, number 5, we need to we think we're strong enough to push through. We need to stop thinking that. I did it all the time, and actually I made it worse by saying to myself, but you're supposed to be strong. Please, please. Pushing through without addressing the stress, it's not going to make you stronger. It's going to lead to burnout. You're either going to leave the profession, or you are going to be out. And then when you come back, you'll have hundreds of emails to come back to, right? So what you need to do is this. You need to decide what strategies are going to work for you. I highly recommend the 50 Ways to Digital Detox download. It is in the caption of this video, or whatever they call it here on YouTube. You can go to my website and look at the resources there. Let me put that on the screen for you. And all of the details will be there. Or there's information that's free that you can access that's going to help you put your self-care on the map for 2025. Introduce some movement this year, whether it's stretching, dancing, walking. Moving your body is a proven way to release stress. I have a bike at the bottom of my desk here, and sometimes I just I just do this so I can, because we know now that we're working at home more often than being out there on the front line. We're sat behind the desk, we're not moving. It's increasing stress. And I've heard a saying that sitting is the new smoking. So get moving this year. Now, as someone who has coached hundreds of social workers over the 10 years, I can confidently say that movement will work. But also, one thing that will keep you outside and push you outside your comfort zone is art therapy. Art therapy is something that I love to do. It's something that I'm trained to do. I have a coaching program dedicated to art therapy. If you want to learn more about that, if you watch one of my videos where it's one of my clients who shows the artwork from the coaching session and talks about how it had a positive impact on her personal and professional development, it's incredibly powerful. Perhaps try something that is outside of the box in that way. Now, the bottom line is this, social workers. The bottom line is you need to find a way to take care of yourself this year so you can show up stronger and more effective. You get to decide how you exercise your permission to prioritize your well-being. There's going to be times we know you'll just have to focus on a particular family. There's going to be times where you've got court work due in and you down and get it done. We know that. Do not lose sight of the control that you have in those moments, the control for boundaries, the control to say no laptop this weekend, the control mobile phone on time today. It's all about focusing on what you can control and then putting in to work to keep your self-care on the map. Now, if you are ready to take your self-care to the next level, I'm going to recommend to you one of the books I've written. Again, it's in the captions, called The Self-Care Journal for Social Workers. It's available on Amazon.com, and it's designed to keep you accountable and help you stay on track with your personal well-being. Now, if you are an action taker and you're listening to this thinking, oh my God, I really need to get something going here, I need to focus on my self-care, book a coaching call with me. Let's get you started. We're still at the beginning of the year. There's no reason to reach burnout this year. You can get in front of it, be proactive, be focused, and talk to me. I've worked in social work for over 10 years. I've coached social workers for now 10 years. I know it inside out and know those emotions that you're going through, know the roller coaster that you're on, the conveyor belt of meetings, the hundreds of emails coming in when you haven't even answered the email from Friday afternoon. I've been there, I know it, and I can help you. You're not alone. If you don't want to access coaching right now, that's fine. You've got the free resources. socialworkcoachinghub.com. Share this video with someone you know, it will certainly help them. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you on the next video. My name is Lisa Ann Edwards, your social work coach here on YouTube. I'll see you soon.